I have tested a lot of automatic litter boxes. They all have different pros and cons, but hands down, my favorite litter box for my ragdoll kitty here has been the PetKit Purobot Max Pro. So of course I am thrilled that they just gifted me their PetKit Purobot Max Pro 2, as this is the next iteration of my favorite litter box. And one of the best parts about this is that it has a larger entry that's slightly lower, more inviting for large or picky kitties like I have here. So in this video, I am going to unbox, set this up, and put it to the test with my ragdoll. Let's go. Now, when you open it up, most everything is on the top and the box is pretty much ready to go. You have your super manual, your pet odor eliminator that's going to go into the pet waste drawer, then your pet odor eliminator that actually will spray odor elimination spray into the drum itself. This is a wonderful control for odor. And then you get 20 of the trash bags. I stick with the PetKit trash bags. They're really nice bags that definitely contain all the smell and store it tightly in my trash can once I close them up. But one of the things I really like about PetKit is they don't have such custom trash bags that you're required to only use their bags. You can use other bags, which I really appreciate the brand for not locking that down. Then you get your power cord, a nice straightforward braided cord here that is about 6 feet long. Then you get your pet fence. This is an optional item I'll show when we do setup. And then there's one of the sifters and the block. How these work is much easier to explain once I get to the litter box itself. The quick start guide is lovely and quick, very user-friendly. And I always love that PetKit provides stickers, always very playful. Now I'm down to the drum itself. Let me pull this out. I'm already so excited. I can see how much more inviting this drum will be for my kitty. And it is really easy to pull this out of the box. They actually wrap it really well with this extra sturdy tape, so you can just lift it with the tape and pull it out. And then once it's out, just cut the tape on the top, careful not to cut the drum, and pull off the plastic. I am so giddy. This is exactly what I want to see with the next iteration of my favorite litter box, as they really are improving exactly where my cat gets grumpy, which is having too small of an opening, less inviting of a drum. This is unbelievably inviting and wonderful. And I love everything about this box. Now, let me give you a quick rundown on how this box works. It is really quite simple. This side panel is magnetic. It comes right off. And when it does, that is where you can access the deodorizer point, and this is where you just pop in this deodorizer right here, and this will actually spray into the drum. There's a tiny little opening that it shoots through, and it just takes this deodorizing smell and shoots it through. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you do not like this smell, as I do know some don't, you can actually pop this thing apart. I don't know if this is something that PetKit specifically recommends, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And if you pop that off, you can add your own gel odor absorber into it and customize this to make this really your own and just keep reusing this piece. Otherwise, you just get more of these. They work beautifully. They go right in. And then this is to unlock the entire drum. And right here, this opening you're seeing is where all the dirty litter will go down. There's a little silicone cover that opens up, and the litter just goes straight into the waste drawer. Now the waste drawer is right here. Super clean, simple waste drawer. I love these drawers as they're a great size. They work exactly as I want them to. This top plastic piece just locks down, keeps the trash bag in place. So I'll put in a trash bag real quick. And like I said, these trash bags are lovely. Pretty standard opening, just shorter than a regular like kitchen trash can bag, but they're really, really solid bags, they actually work really, really well for the task at hand. So they just go right in the drawer, and you don't want to cover this back little bit there, so you just keep them like that. And then this red hard piece goes over the top, and that really holds the bag in place, so as dirty litter is dumping into it, it doesn't come off one side and leave you with a big mess. And then finally, this has this odor absorber opening right here, and that's where this odor absorber goes. Now this one is also very cool in that you can take it apart and add something else. Yes, I'm very familiar with these. I have learned how you can customize them. I personally just keep getting the same PetKit ones, as these work wonderfully, and they really do just pop in. They do a beautiful job of keeping this drawer less smelly until you're ready to dump it. And this just slides right back in. And now I still have the drum unlatched because I want to show you that you can just take the entire drum right off. And then the base is very, very simple. You just have the wheels on the bottom here, and then there's one gear that hooks on to the gears on the side of the drum to make it turn and keep it where it's supposed to be. And then right there, you can see the camera. That is the camera that is always aiming inside the drum that you have full control over. So this is really, really nice. I also always love to show that it has a great handle here. It also has wheels on the back, so it's very easy to roll. Now for the drum, very straightforward. I'll show how this works in just a moment, but the main gist is that it has this filter right here. You can add the other filter if you're using clay litter, but if you're using any type of natural litter, tofu litter, most litters, I prefer the one that comes in it. One of my favorite parts about this style of drum is that it never has any point that ever opens or closes, so there's never a concern about a cat ever getting pinched. Not to mention, PetKit has all of the fantastic features you want to make sure that your cat is always number one, always protected. I'll show all of those once I turn it on. But the other piece is that it does have this kind of fabric-y base here, and that is on purpose. So it can actually kind of move and pop up as the litter, if any litter stuck on it, gets pulled off of it. It helps it stay cleaner. So it's very cool that way. And if you need to, you can actually pop it out. And when you pull this out, it's much easier to clean it. And then you can see that the base actually does have some openings in it as well. Those aren't for anything to go through exactly, just in case any moisture has collected on the bottom of this, it has a place to breathe. Now, popping out this piece is not something I recommend doing all the time, only when you want to do a real deep clean. You can also replace this piece. The reason I don't like popping it out is it's not fun to put back in. But all you need to do to put it back in is find all of the edges, make sure it's lined up correctly. It has a little arrow right at the front that connects to this little arrow on the litter mat. Just line those up and then just get to it and get it all the way tucked back in. But the basic gist is that this is ready to go right out of the box. Now it's time to plug it in, add some litter, and I'll show you the app. So I just plugged in the box. I haven't done anything yet. The first thing it wants me to do is say, please bind the device in the app. So I have the app open here. It immediately found the device. And so I just hit OK. If you don't already have the app, you will need to download it from PetKit, sign in with your username, pretty straightforward process. And then once you bind it, you will need to give it your Wi-Fi password. This is key, as it means you'll be able to access it, especially see that camera, change settings, be alerted, even when you're not at home. So now I'm connecting, and we are successfully bound. Now I'm in, its name can stay boring. And we can go over the instructions real quick. Key elements are you definitely don't want to put this on a carpet. You want it on a hard surface. I have gotten away with putting it on extremely low pile carpet, but that's always a risk. And you do need to give it some space. Specifically, nothing can be against this drum so it can spin properly. And if your cat is new to automatic litter boxes, I not only recommend adding some of your cat's existing old litter into it, but I would also turn off the auto clean completely. You will know what your cat needs. For my kitty, I definitely had a manual box next to this for a little while. And then when I finally got rid of that manual box, I had to pay super close attention to my cat because he's not the most well-behaved. And I actually gave him treats and extra love every time he used this. It only took 2 days. There was never an issue. And by the end of 2 days, I knew we were in the clear. But you definitely need to make sure your cat adapts to it successfully. And that is really it. So now we're in. And I am actually going with a very special litter here from PetKit. It's their new urine monitor cat litter. So I'm going to use that. And it already knows my kitty. Thanks to the camera and knowing the cat's weights, as long as the weights are notably different, it will always recognize the cats. So it'll always tell you which cat's using it, how long that cat's been using it. If there's an alert with the urine or with the stool, it will alert you about the cat that it needs to alert you about. It's very smart. So that's good to go. As for it asking if you have a kitten at home, this is key. You cannot use any automatic box with kittens. They're just not designed for it. Primary safety feature on all of these boxes is a weight sensor, and the weight just won't pick up if the cat is too light. Now, I would say that the PetKit boxes will work for more cats just because they have so many more safety features built into them. Between never closing, having the weight sensor, and the motion detector, there's just a lot going on. And of course, that AI camera. So really, really smart boxes, great for all kitties. I do not have a kitten at home, so I'm gonna say no. And if I said yes, it just would not automatically clean. All right, so now I'm in. You can see me in the camera sitting next to the box. It's pretty much real time, really good quality footage. I love how nice this is when my kitty's using the box that I can check on how he's doing. And it has all of the data I want to see. Now, the first thing I want to do is add the litter. So I am going to go to maintenance mode and confirm, and this is going to tip it up so it's very easy to pour in the litter. It also lets the box know I'm adding litter, so it'll adapt the weight accordingly after I've added the litter. So I'm going to pour in that special litter, and then once I'm finished with maintenance mode, I can tap on it or I can control it in the app. I'm just going to tap on it for now and hit OK. And it sensed that I was here. And so it stopped immediately because it had a motion detector sensor triggered. So I can manually force that just because I'm here by saying, no, I'm right here. And so since I double clicked, it will keep going. And so now it will level that litter. When it comes to the litter, I know it has maximum lines and you may think that you always need to put your litter to that, but depending on your litter, you may need a little less litter than that line, as if sometimes if you pour it all the way to the maximum line, every time it'll dump a bunch of your litter. So just keep in mind that you will want to adapt how much litter you add to this box based on your type of litter and how the box responds to it. How I recommend testing that is fill it with litter and then run it. And I will run it right now to show you exactly how this works. So now I'm just gonna hit scoop, and I can start it on the app or I can just start it right here. All of the options are here. I can click through all the main options. And so I could have it do it right here, but I'm gonna just do it in the app. So I'll hit OK. And this might just be my favorite part. As you can see, all the litter is just getting caught by the sifter. And then it's just gonna keep spinning backwards for a moment. And what it's doing right now is if there was any dirty litter, it would have caught on the drum right here. Right in there, you can see a little bit of the litter didn't go into the sifter and is now in the drum. And it never closed, never ever closed. And now it's going back, and that litter is going to go down that little sifter into that hole that's completely inaccessible and always stays open into the dirty litter drawer. Now, if I put weight on this for any moment, it's going to stop and be like, there's a cat in the box, I can't do anything. And then if I jump off, it'll give it a moment and then it'll start back up. Same if a cat goes in front of it, if it senses motion, it's going to stop immediately. And again, my favorite part is that there's nowhere for a cat to be pinched anyway. Worst case scenario, they roll around with some litter. And now all it's doing is making sure that litter is level for the next time it's used. So now if there had been any dirty litter, it would have gone right into here. A few little pellets went in. So obviously already, I think this is an amazing box. I love the big opening. If for any reason you don't want it to be that open, or if a little too much litter is getting out when your cat jumps out, you can always add this little guard right here. And all this does is make it a little bit higher of a jump, so it's a bit more of a litter catch. I personally don't like this. My cat's already a bit picky when it comes to boxes, but I completely understand why people would want to use this. And with my older cat who passed this summer, he would have no problem with this. Just make sure when you put it on that you snap it all the way in so it doesn't move at all. It has a latch on the back, and it's actually hard to get off. And you can see that right there. So it really does hold on well. Now this is where I think you can get to the fun part where you can really customize this to make it your own. Now I obviously have shown you the camera because I'm in the camera right now, but I want to show you what that camera does. I can show you on my other Purobot that my kitty uses all the time. It will always show live what it looks like, but also it will record at nighttime, daytime, anytime he goes in it. And I can get the playback of him using the box. Now there is a subscription model if you want more than, I think it's 24 hours of playback and a little bit longer for stool images. But I pretty much always only check the more recent images. And if it were to give me any alerts, which luckily with my current kitty, it doesn't alert me about anything, I'd get that immediately. But you can go back in time, and I can really go back quite a ways. And I can still at least see what he did long ago on each of those days and really have an idea of his routine and maybe weight change, things like that. And if for any reason I want to keep a video, I can always screen record that video, or I can go up to the top and I can save it to more easily. So there are options to keep the videos, which is really nice and convenient. I'm going to give him some privacy there. So now let's go back to the Pro Max 2. What makes this so cool is, yes, you have your auto scoop. You can also tell it to automatically deodorize. You can put it into maintenance. You can have it empty the whole box, and that's when you put a cover over that back filter. This cover right here, and it will make sure that all the litter gets dumped into the bottom drawer. And then you also have just a variety of different settings here. You can turn on and off the light. You can go into cleaning settings, and in cleaning settings, there's so much going on. You really can do anything and everything. Now, auto cleaning is what I would recommend turning off if your cat is new to automatic litter boxes so it doesn't scare them. And then delayed cleaning is key as well. This is how long it will wait before it cleans. And depending on your litter, you may want it to wait a longer period of time or a shorter period of time. I prefer 4 minutes. I actually think I'm going to do 3 minutes with this one. And then you can tell it to avoid repeated cleaning. Now, this is not something I need with my current kitty, but with my old kitty, he was so curious about these devices and he'd come up to them over and over again. So you can tell the box, hey, if you're getting alerted over and over again to clean, just don't wait longer between cleanings. You can also just schedule cleaning, and it really does keep going. I love the deep cleaning because it means it's actually going to roll the waste a little more. It does 2 consecutive cleans, so it's a great way to make sure the box is super clean after each cleaning. You can also do litter saving mode. And in litter saving mode, the cylinder is going to rotate and swing during each clean cycle to remove excess litter that might be clinging to large clumps. So this is just going to make the litter bust off if there's too much clumping up. I don't need that. It can also do waste covering. This one's really nice if your cat doesn't bury their waste, as it really helps deodorize more. And I'm actually going to turn off deep clean now because I'm going to be showing this to you a few times. Now, the auto deodorizing can happen right after a pet uses it, and that is the deodorizer right inside this cover right here. This little deodorizer right here that will actually spray right into the drum. And I'm going to tell you right now that deodorizer is pretty smelly. You also have light assist during toileting, during cleaning. You have more control over deodorizing, and you can do a do not disturb. So this is if you don't want this cleaning during certain periods of the day or the night. But wait, there is even more. It also has the AI lab. This is where it can do the pet identification, which I already showed you. It identifies my kitties. It can detect yowling. So if your cat is showing any pain and physical discomfort while going, this will alert you. And then you can turn on the urine pH detection, which is the litter I just added. So now this is going to actually track if that litter changes colors, the camera will be paying attention for it and alert me if the pH is off. So it's telling me to make sure to use that pH cat litter and keep the camera enabled. So very, very cool. And it does have a few warnings. It does recommend that you do not use third-party deodorizing sprays with this, and you don't want to mix other cat litters. So to make sure this is successful, you really do need to stick within the PetKit ecosystem, which totally makes sense to me. And it also recommends turning on light assist during cleaning to help with detection, which I am happy to do to help it with that. So I will turn on light detection during cleaning. But that's not all. In the main settings, you can do a firmware upgrade. You can automatically turn this on and off. You can control a subscription if you want to add that. And then you actually have camera settings. These are key in that maybe you want more privacy. So you could set that camera to only work during certain periods of the day. You can also choose if that camera is actually going to record. You can control privacy settings. You have a lot of controls over the camera and what it does. And if you're uncomfortable with the camera, you can always turn it off completely. Maybe you only use the camera when you go on vacation. It's really nice when you're on vacation. And then the rest of this are different settings we've already gone through in other places. So really, really nice. This box is everything I want in an automatic litter box. From my favorite style drum to the AI camera. When I first got the PetKit Purobot Max Pro, I didn't know if I was going to care about that AI camera, but now that I've had it for over 6 months, I rely upon it. When my old kitty was having a lot more health issues, I checked on it often to see how he was doing, and it was key in knowing when it was actually time for him to go, when he was suffering too much. And with my young ragdoll, he eats foolish things like plastic and has those occasional issues that I want to be able to go and check and see how he did, if he went to the box and had a successful time in the box, or if he was having any issue, showing any pain. It's so powerful to have that. And then when you're on vacation, to just see your cute little fur ball in a moment of vulnerability, but it's a nice way to see how your cat's doing when you're on vacation as well. And I love that PetKit has been putting cameras in their boxes for so long. I know some of the other big brands have started doing it just now. And as of this very moment in the fall of 2025, I do think that PetKit is the leader in litter box cameras. They really have been testing and improving upon this for quite a while now, and it's so good. On top of that, this box has the larger opening. It is the newer model. It's going to get more support. It has their incredible app that is such a standout app for all of the different PetKit products you may add to your home. This is the box that I recommend. I cannot recommend this box enough. If you are considering any automatic litter box, this is the one I'd turn you towards. It's going to fit your cat, it's going to be great, and it's going to meet your needs. The PetKit Purobot Max Pro 2.